Hi there, this is Teri from Stamping Magic. Welcome back to my channel. Today's project is a small gift bag. I've used the Snowman season stamp set together with some of the Let It Snow specialty designer series papers, and some of these papers have glitter accents on them. Now the lovely thing about this bag is that it folds flat, so it's so easy to store. So let's get started. These are all the measurements you need for the various elements required to create this project. So if you're interested in reproducing it, you can take a screenshot and refer to it later. You're going to start with a piece of Let It Snow designer series paper measuring 12 inches by 8 inches. And as I said before, some of the designs on this paper have glitter accents on them. They're really pretty. You want to place it into your scoreboard so the 12-inch side is running across the top, and score down at 3 3/4, 5 3/4, 9 1/2 and 11 1/2, and that's in inches. Rotate your piece of paper so the 8-inch side is across the top and score down at 2 inches. Then you want to flip your paper over and score down at 7 inches, and this will be the top of our little gift bag. Flip your paper back and score at 3 inches, but only down to the second horizontal score line. Then you're going to rotate your paper so the opposite 8-inch side is across the top, score down at 5 inches, but again only through the 2 score lines, so up to the second score line. Turn your paper again so you've got the 12-inch side across the top, and you should have a horizontal score line running across your paper at 1 inch. And you want to score down at 4 3/4 inches and 10 1/2 inches, but again only to the second horizontal score line. This is what your score line should look like on your paper, minus the 2 triangular sections. So you should have a score line running down through the centre of each side section, and then at the bottom of that score line you should have a horizontal score line running across apart from through the front. Then you'll have 2 further horizontal score lines running right the way across, one at the bottom which is the baseline for your gift bag, and the other one at the top at 1 inch, which is the fold line for the top of your gift bag. I'm now going to create these 2 little triangular sections, and these go at the bottom of the side sections, and they just help shape the sides and also help the bag fold backwards. I've placed my paper onto a foam pad, and I'm just going to use a ruler and my scoring stylus to score these triangular sections. So you're going to score from that centre line that runs down the middle of your side sections down to the bottom corners of that little rectangular section that's underneath. There's only a little cutting required for this bag. All we're going to do is remove that little corner section on the 1/2 inch section on the right side and slant cut each end of the remaining part of it, and then we're going to cut up each of the score lines on the bottom tabs. So firstly I'm going to remove that bottom corner section and slant cut the top and the bottom of the remaining part of it, and then I'm just going to cut up the score lines on the bottom to create the tabs, and I'm doing 2 cuts because I like to remove the score line. And then once I've done that, I'm just going to go in and notch either side of the smaller tabs, so underneath the side sections. And this just helps the bag fold in a little more neatly, and you won't get bits poking out and showing where you don't want them. I'm now going to go ahead and fold and burnish all my score lines that either run all the way down or all the way across my paper. Now, I actually forgot to fold the tabs on the bottom of my bag, but you do need to do those here as well. I didn't notice till later. Now, for all the remaining folds, so the ones that don't run fully across or up and down your paper, don't worry about folding these completely and burnishing them. You just need to give your bag an idea of where to fold. So all I'm doing is running my fingernail across that horizontal score line, and then with the side sections I'm just going to fold them as much as I can, again using my fingernail to help me get in there to tell the paper which way to fold. The same with those little triangular sections. If you haven't got any fingernails, just use a pointy tool or the end of a ruler, or something like that. You'll find that when we fold this fully, when we've made up the gift bag, the paper will know how to fold, so don't worry too much. The first thing we're going to glue is this top 1-inch section. So just add your glue and then fold it down to stick it in place. You may want to reinforce the folds on the top again. And then all we're going to do is add glue to the full length of that 1/2 inch section on the right hand side, and then close the other side onto it, and that will form our bag shape. Now the back section has the seam on the side, and it also has that extra score line which also runs through the side sections. It shouldn't be on the front section. So when you're fixing the base of the box, you want to fold the back tab down first, and then you can add glue to the remaining 3 tabs. Now you're going to fold the side tabs in next, trying to keep the base of the bag square, and then you're going to fold the front tab in, and then you can give it a press down from the inside. To get this bag to fold flat, all we're going to do is pinch the top together, and then I'm going to walk my fingers down the bag, and you'll find when you get to that horizontal score line, the bag will fold naturally on its own, and then just gently press it flat. Once flat, you can burnish all the sides and edges with your bone folder. Next, I'm going to mark the position for the holes to thread the ribbon through for the handles, and I marked these halfway down that 1-inch tab and about 7/8 of an inch in from each side. I'm going to use the smaller hole punch on my crocodile to punch out these holes, but before I do, I'm going to pull the side sections out of the way. Now, if you don't do this, you will catch the sides with the hole punch, which is what I did on my original bag. So even us so-called professionals make mistakes. I certainly do all the time. So make sure you either pull the side sections out of the way, or when you mark your position for the holes, mark them a little bit closer together. So I'm punching through both sides of the gift bag at the same time, so I know my holes will be the same on each side. Now the little red circles I added around the holes that I punched are for decorative purposes only. You can omit this stage if you want to. I'm just punching out 4 circles using my 1/2 inch punch. I'm going to pile them all together and then mark the centre point with a pencil on the top one, and then I'll use my crocodile again to punch a hole through them all at the same time. Then I can add glue to each of them and position them onto the gift bag. The ribbon I'm using is the mini striped Bermuda Bay ribbon, and I've got two lengths and I've tied a knot at one end on each of them. So I'm just going to thread these through the holes, and then I'll tie a knot on the other end, trying to keep the two lengths of ribbon more or less the same. Trim off the excess and the handles are done. This is the Snowman season stamp set. It's really lovely with these beautiful images of sort of cartoony snowmen. I'm going to stamp one of them using Memento Tuxedo black ink. And because this is a photopolymer stamp set, I'm stamping on my piercing mat. You really need that extra cushion to get a good impression. I'm using my Stampin' Blends alcohol markers to colour with, and I'm starting with the dark pumpkin pie for his carrot nose. Then I'm using light Bermuda Bay on his hat and on the stripes of the hat and the stripes of the scarf. And then I'm just switching to the dark Bermuda Bay just to add a little at the bottom of each of those stripes. And then I'm going round the top of his hat as well. I'm not doing any blending here. I'm using the light smoky slate for the rocks, and then also to add some shadows around the edges of the snowman. And then I'm blending this out using the colour lifter just to soften the edges of those lines. Then I'm switching to my clear Wink of Stella pen, and I'm going over all the white areas in the hat band and on the scarf, and also on the buttons on his chest, just to add a little sparkle. Then with most of my images I usually go round them with the light pool party marker, and this really makes them pop. Finally I added a little more Wink of Stella just on those little falling snowdrops. I'm using one of my oval stitch shapes framelit dies to cut this out, second size down, and then I've already created a real red mat for this using my layering ovals scalloped oval dies, and this was a third size down. These two pieces can now be layered together. For some extra sparkle, I'm going to add some snow underneath the snowman, and for this I'm using our new ice stamping glitter, which is gorgeous. It's like a clear glass glitter almost, and I'm just adhering this using our fine tip glue pen. And this is what it looks like. It's quite a subtle sparkle, but it's lovely nonetheless. I've gone ahead and added dimensionals to the reverse of this panel, and then all I need to do is add it to my gift bag. And that's it, my bag is complete. Really sweet, so cute, and so easy to store as well. And here's my original one again. Just used a different design in that same paper pack for this one. And then I have made one more. For this one I used the Perfectly Plaid stamp set, and I embossed it in copper, and I used some of the brightly gleaming papers which have lovely foil, copper foil accents on them. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Bye for now.